Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Looking out the window, the weather today does not look like it'll be an outside fun day. Windy and cold, although it is supposed to warm up a little bit later, and the wind is supposed to die down, and hopefully we can look towards a decent weekend. I think it would help us all to have some better weather and be able to get outside and do some more things. Again, I'm trying to be mindful of how much work you have. I hope yesterday helped. Either you had your science done and you got to chill out a little bit when it came to science, or you didn't get it done, and that meant that you had an extra day to go ahead and get some work done. I have a lot to show you on here today, so follow along the best you can. I would encourage that if you need to rewatch the video so you know where we're at, that you go back and rewatch this video if you have to. Other than that, yeah, I'm going to walk you through. Remember our objective here. The goal is building the rocket is the fun part of it, honestly. The objective, if you think about anything in science, is ultimately to ask good questions and then answer the good questions. So our objective today is to narrow down your questions to one great question. And that's, you'll see I put that in quite a few things. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to navigate through. Let me switch screens here. And the first thing I'm going to go to is this. This is your list for today. I think I can still go to present. Yeah, so you're going to watch Mr. Masters' video, his Thursday video of Sense of Wonder. I actually think I'll post that separately. You'll be watching this video. You're going to look at this slideshow that we're on. You're going to open the Google Doc that I provide with this assignment. It's a simple doc. Just says the question I've come up with, the variable, because that's important. In order, when you decide what question it is that you're going to investigate, you really have to ask yourself, when I do my tests, what variable will I change? There's only one variable that you can change in a test. If you change more than one variable, then you don't know which one was the answer. So remember, you got to keep it to one variable. That's probably going to be a challenging part, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. You'll need to have chosen the one great question, and we'll talk about that. And you'll need to list the variable associated, and then you're going to do 3 tests with your rocket. I'm going to encourage you also to, if you look down here, fly your rocket, record your results. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can move this box thing here. There we go. Maybe you see it now. I don't know. Fly your rocket, record your results. And then you need to take a picture of your rocket, flying, and then we're going to deal with sending those tomorrow. But again, the most important part here is that it's developing a good question. That's what this is about. I don't want to get lost too much in the paper rockets. That's the fun of it. All right, let's go back to this and see if this works for me. There we go. All right. So we are on today, obviously. It's Thursday. We've got this. We can do this. I know it's a lot of work, and it's hard to learn at home. It's hard to teach at home. Your target, asking questions and defining problems. You, now that you have built your rocket, you're going to choose one great question. And that you have chosen as thought-provoking and that we can actually test at home. We're going to do something today called open-ended and closed-ended. Here's your task list. When you're done, don't forget to turn in your document. All right, I'm trying to move this because I know it's hard. Don't forget to turn in your document. And if you turn in a blank document, you are letting yourself down. I have probably 10 kids that on a daily basis just click turn in. And then I want to thank you all who are getting it done. You're doing a lot of work, and it's hard to do a lot of work at home when you could be relaxing, you can do other things. So I appreciate your efforts. Okay. Let me see. How do I get out of this? Let's go to the next thing. So I want to talk about then this question, this idea of coming up with good questions. And you can watch this video. I'll post this slideshow as well on there. Like I said, there's a lot of information today. So how do we come up with good questions? Step 1, you already did. Let me see if I can move me here. There we go. You already did. You brainstormed and listed as many as you can. That was the first day when I said just think about paper rockets. Watch the video. Think about questions you have. Step 2 is decide which of your questions will actually make you or someone else think. These are the thought-provoking. So you looked at your list. You said, here are my thought-provoking. And if I can, let me get out of here real quick. I'll come back. Here's where I'm at. So here's my list. And I think if I can do, I don't know if it'll help, but let's do full screen on this. Yeah, not much. Here's the deal. So here was my original like 5 to 10 that I real quick came up with. How many fins should it have? Does it have a pointy nose or a blunt nose? Should it be made of good paper? Do more fins stabilize? Does the size of the fins matter? Will adding weight to the front of the rocket make it fly higher? Will adding weight to the back of the rocket make it fly higher? Kind of equating that one to an arrow's flight through the air. Adding weight to the front of an arrow stabilizes the arrow, but I don't know about something that's flying, straight up. So, and then I decided that those that I think would make you do more research or thinking would be, do more fins stabilize the rocket? So if I have 2, is it better to have 4 fins or 3? How many fins should it have? And will adding weight to the front help it fly higher? And will adding weight to the back help it fly higher? All right, so now we're on step 3. I'm going to go back to this one. Step 3 is identify the questions that are open-ended. All right, so then what the heck is an open-ended question? Well, hang on, got to move myself. An closed-ended question are questions you can answer with a yes or a no. Did you have breakfast this morning? That's a yes or a no. Is it raining outside? Yes or no. Or if you're, the Manitowoc Minute guy or somebody else, it's yeah or no. All right, so then other questions are going to end up being open-ended. They require an explanation that can't be answered with yes or no. So now I want to decide which one of these are going to be open-ended, require more than a yes or no explanation. All right, that brings us back then to our document. All right, so now I have to decide, and this is the same process you're going to do. You're going to need to go back to the document you did 2 days ago. Now I have to take a look at my list, and I don't need to go back here. I don't need to go back to my originals, my brainstorm. I'm at my thought-provoking question list. Which of these are open-ended? So do more fins stabilize the rocket? Is that a closed question? Would that be a yes or no answer? Yeah, I think that is. I think that's a yes or no answer. So, because I think if I were, talking to somebody about a stabilization of a rocket, hey, do more fins stabilize the rocket? Yes, more fins stabilize the rocket. But then again, I also think about it and I think, 16 fins isn't going to stabilize the rocket more. It's going to add too much resistance. So, I think that maybe this do more fins stabilize the rocket question has really morphed, and now I'm realizing how many fins should it have seems like a better question. And so I want you to follow the thinking process and how to come up with questions that are great questions. Yeah, so do more fins stabilize the rocket? More than how many? So my question's not great. Do 1, 2, or 3. So I think now we're at how many fins should it have would be a better question. Will adding weight to the front of it help it fly higher? Open-ended or closed would tell me that it'd be yes or no. Open would tell it that it'd be yes or no. So I think the one that I've identified as how many fins should it have is my best open-ended question. Are all of my questions going to be perfect? No. So I'm going to go with how many fins should it have? And that then is my selected great question for this. All right. Is it possible that you will select a question and then say, oh my gosh, you know what? I got to redefine my question. I have to rewrite my question. Do more fins stabilize the rocket? Seems similar to how many fins should it have, but how many fins should it have seems like a better question. Now, these questions are going to become more advanced as you move. Now, if I were a rocket scientist, you know, I might say for a 150 foot, 2 kiloton space rocket, how many fins would do a rocket, would be best for a rocket that size? So my questions can become more advanced. But remember, we have to keep in mind that we're coming up with a great question that we can do something about. All right, so I've done my process. I've gone from brainstorming to thought-provoking to making sure that whatever I'm doing is open-ended and not just a yes or no or a question I can answer in like 30 seconds. Another way to put it would be, can you answer that question in 5 seconds or 10 seconds on Google? Then it's probably a closed-ended question. Okay, so back here, we have taken care of our open-ended. And I've chosen one. You're going to do the same process. You might even watch this video more than once. Step 4, I have to ask myself, is this something I can investigate with what I have and where I am? And if you recall, if my question is going to be, how many fins, should it have? Well, I can do that. I can put 2 and then 3 and then 4 and just change that variable and see if I get different flight heights and more stable flight. Is my rocket kind of wonky as it flies through the air, or is it flying through the air straight up, which would give it better flight? So step 4 is, deciding, can I investigate that? When I think about the question I've chosen, I can do something about that at home and with the materials I have. All right, so also part of good science. Can I investigate, nuclear fusion at home if I had a question about it? No. Not where I am or with what I have. So that question for me would be kind of null and void. I'd have to just say I'll leave it to somebody else. All right, let's go to step 5. Now step 5 is identifying the variable. And this can be challenging. But it's like, there can be only one. And you only want to change one variable, because if you change more than one, then you won't know the answer. So if I think about the variable, now my great question I've chosen is, how many fins, help it fly the best? Well, the variable I'm changing then is the number of fins. So when I have my question on my document, I'll have number of fins is the variable I'm changing. Step 6 is to test and investigate and experiment. All right, I want to take it to step 5 real quick, the identifying the variable and what the heck are you going to do with that? Whoops. All right, so here's another document you'll have posted today. So once you choose how many fins should I have, you're going to go back and that will be entered here under your my question. So I would type in here, how many fins should I have? The variable I'm testing in this question. All right, so for mine, I would say, my question is, how many fins should it have? And actually, I kind of want to, remember our goal is to make the best flying rocket. How many fins make the rocket fly? What's the best rocket flight? Highest rocket flight, right? So I'm going to put highest. All right. So my question is still essentially the same. Best flight, make it best, fly the highest. Now the variable, so in this case, I didn't realize my question's actually the same here. The variable is the number of fins. And I'm going to put 2, 3, or 4. Because those are the things I'm going to change. And then I'm at the point where I can change my rocket, finish my rocket, fly it once, fly it twice, fly it 3 times, list my results. Now, it's going to be hard because you're going to fly a rocket and you got to have something to gauge it against. You're just going to have to eyeball it, guys. Just say like, yep, that sure seemed to fly the highest there on that one. All right, those are the things that you need to get done and turned in for today. So you'll run through your slideshow. You'll access your previous document here from a couple days ago to add in how many fins should, or I'm sorry, whatever one you think is open-ended. You're identifying today your great question. and you're filling out your test sheet. That's everything I have for you today. Have a great day, guys. Email me if you have questions.